plants and it's part of that, sorry. Do you want to watch it on there? Just for a minute. I need to
I'll just watch it on my phone.
Okay, cool. Hi everyone, hope you can hear me okay. George Farmer here, just doing a quick impromptu live video update from my Aquascaper 600 from Evolution Aqua. So just bear with me a minute, I'm just going to check on my iPad to see what you guys are seeing, and then I can read any comments and answer any questions you may have. So just have a little think about questions you might want to ask about this aquascape or any other planted tank related questions. More than happy to answer. So I plan to be online for about half an hour. Okay, so let's just check my stream. Here we go. 13 watching already. Thanks guys. Live chat, here we go. Arash, hello. Love you, George. Thank you, Arash, that's lovely. Monia, hello, George. Love the rescape. Thank you very much, Monia. And John, hi. So, you might have seen, if you look through my other YouTube videos, you'll have seen how I created this aquascape, and the previous incarnation, same stones, but just a minimalist style, with a carpet of Micranthemum Monte Carlo and Aleocaris Persilla from Denelay plants. So minimal carpet, and I kind of got a bit bored of that aquascape after a couple of months or so. So I put some Hygrophila polysperma in the back, which is a classic, easy to grow weed. It actually looks really nice under highlighting. It goes quite compact and it's actually quite easy to maintain, quite easy to control. And I've added some Hemianthus glomeratus in the midground here, and on the other side, which has been reclassified from the Micranthemum micranthemoides, so you might see it being sold as that, but the true name is Hemianthus glomeratus. And there's a bit more hairgrass in the front there, a bit of Anubias pangolino, and there's a bit of Sterigine in the centre, and some Ludwigia arcuata in the back centre there, the stem plant there, which I'm a little bit disappointed with. I was hoping it's going to go a red colour because I've got quite strong lighting, and it's just stayed green. So not sure why that is. Maybe it's the spectrum of the LEDs. Maybe not enough light still. Maybe my water chemistry. Lots of factors that might be preventing it from going red. Chris Dearman, morning mate. How you doing? Michaela, hi. Doing water change now, so need some entertainment. Well, hopefully I can entertain you. Monia, you butchered my name, but it's fine. How do you pronounce your name then? Is it Monia? Monia Naylor? Malia. I do apologise. Typical Englishman can't pronounce foreign names very well. I do. It is a bit embarrassing, to be honest. So yeah, what can I say about the scape? It's about 3 months old now, maybe a bit older. Ready for a new one. Ready for a new challenge. I'll put some final display fish in there. I've rehomed the golden barbs. They didn't seem to be too happy in the open layout, so they tend to be hiding in the corner most of the time. So I put them in my 1200, and they seem a lot happier in there. So it's healthy. It's not the best aquascape I've ever done, but it's using locally collected rocks, which are obviously free. Do look at your local regulations and laws, bylaws for collecting any products from the wild, and obviously ensure it's aquarium safe as well. So yeah, it's a nice tank. I'm looking forward to a change, to be honest. Iwagumis are great. But I tend to get a little bit bored of them because they're quite samey, if you know what I mean. They tend to, after a couple of months, they've grown in and they look great, and actually there's not much more of a challenge for me. So I'm looking forward to doing something new. Any ideas, more than welcome. I'm quite good friends with a guy called Scott Fellman, who's the owner of Tannin Aquatics. You might have heard of those guys. And I think he is expanding his range into a new brand called Estuary, which I believe focuses more on the brackish product line. So potentially I'll be doing a brackish setup next, so that'll be interesting. even thinking of maybe doing a small mangrove setup, you know, like a real mangrove plant. Good friends of Oliver Knott, who gets really nice mangrove plants from a dealer in Germany, I believe. So I might use my connections with Oliver there. I've just have a look at the comments. Watching Raku, always love looking at your tanks. That's very kind, thank you. Chris Dearman, I like this setup. The aquarium show, hey George, what liquid fertilizer are you using? At the moment I'm using liquid fertilizer by the Nutrient Company, and it's called TNC Complete, and it has all of the necessary micronutrients and macronutrients all in one bottle, and I dose about 5 or 10 ml a day. Sometimes I forget. If I'm away from home, it'll go a few days without any dosing, but I tend to overdose a little bit every day, and that helps to keep the plants healthy. And then I like to, if I get time, do at least one large water change a week. So I tend to do about 60 or 70% water change every week or so. Tend to get a bit of surface scum on this setup. I could do with a surface skimmer, to be honest, but I find them a bit ugly in a smaller tank. It's obviously quite hard to hide a surface skimmer in an Iwagumi. X-Sub networking, yes. Gav, tank is looking great, thank you Gav. Arash, does hydrocotyl tripartite need CO2? No, it doesn't. In fact, I've got some in a non-CO2 tank, just in our hallway there, an Aquascaper 300 cube, and I've just got a little bit in the bottom amongst the hair grass, and that actually has no CO2 at all, not even any liquid carbon, just a little bit of liquid fertilizer now and again, and that's growing fine, nice and slow. The lighting's quite low as well. Really easy plant actually, hydrocotyl tripartite, I find. Watching Maku asks, can you have too much flow in a planted tank? Does higher flow prevent green algae? Can you have too much flow? I would say good circulation levels are very important. Too much flow you can, in terms of are the plants like being physically blown over, like from turbulence, from too much flow. That can affect its growth. You know, if you imagine a stem plant that's like, you know, horizontal because of the flow, that's not going to be too great for its growth. I would concentrate more on circulation rather than flow. So I like to use the 10 times turnover rule, or guideline. It's not a rule really. So this is about 100 litres of water in here, and I have a filter which is rated at around about 1,000 litres per hour turnover. So 1,000 litres per hour divided by 10 is 100 litres, so that's perfect for this layout. Lily pipes are really good at dispersing that flow, so you don't get too much of a turbulent pattern like I mentioned earlier. And ideally you want all of the plants to be gently swaying in the flow. So you can see the hair grass here, hopefully, I'm not sure what the quality of the video is like for you guys, but you can see the hair grass there is being gently blown. I'm just going to turn these lights down at the back. I've got another LED. How does that look? Does that look any better? There we go. Yeah, let's turn it right off. Bit of there we go, that's nicer, isn't it? So yeah, can you have too much flow? Yes, but that said, circulation levels are very important. So plants love to be hit by the CO2. If you're injecting CO2, they really love to get access to that CO2 by circulating water over the plant. So in a larger tank, you probably need 2 big filters. In a tank any larger than, I'd say, 150 litres, which is about 40 gallons, 40 US gallons. You probably want 2 external filters. I'm running one Fluval G6 actually on here, which is a great filter. Okay, it's got some more questions, guys. Thanks for contributing. It's really nice to engage with you all. Arash, yes, Eheim 350 skimmer, that's what I normally use, but I just find it a little bit ugly, so I kind of just put up with the scum, and then the large water change usually gets rid of it. Magic 1980, hi George, what intensity is your Kessel running at? At the moment it's 25%. I was running it at just 10% for a while, but I wanted to grow a nice compact hygrotha there in the background there, so I upped it to 25%. I've actually even put another LED at the back, which is a beams work. Just show you guys there. Dazzle you all. That's just on half light at the moment. And then if I put it on full light, you can see. So that's just promoting really nice compact growth at the back. I've got running quite high levels of CO2. There isn't actually any livestock in here at the moment, so I just thought I'd smash the CO2 in there, and that's why we've got like the really high, really nice growth at the moment. So who else have we got here? Yorkie 1. If you want a challenge, you could breed some Amano shrimps in a brackish tank. That's a really good idea, Yorkie 1. Thank you for that. It's got me thinking. I never even thought about that. Amano shrimps are so expensive over here in the UK usually. You're looking at about £2 or £3 a shrimp. And I like to stock, you know, one shrimp every 3 or 4 litres of aquarium water at least for Amano shrimp. So, you know, in this tank we're looking at about 20, 30 Amano shrimp. So you're looking at, you know, £80 to £100 just on shrimp. So yeah, to breed my own, that might be a good idea. Thank you. Chris Dearman, how would you normally deal with surface scum? As I use a mini skimmer by Odyssey and find it's great as a temporary fix. Yes, I normally deal with it with a surface skimmer. It's kind of inevitable, I think, on most planted tanks at a certain level of surface scum. It's just one of those things I've learned to live with over the years. No idea what the real causes are. It's probably a huge combination of causes. It's such a complex kind of ecosystem thing going on in a planted tank, so it's really impossible to kind of nail down one particular reason you're getting the surface scum. So the best thing to do is actually just treat it, and the best thing for that is a surface skimmer. So I'm a big fan of the Eheim 350. I've never really used anything else. ADA do the VUPA. There are some inlets, filter inlets with a built-in surface skimmer. I've not actually used any of them yet, but that's certainly worth the consideration. Arash says the quality of the stream is perfect. That's good to hear. Yeah, I'm really pleased actually. I've got an iPhone 7 and it's brilliant. I've got to say, I was in Germany last week for a few days, and in fact keep an eye out for a video that I'll be uploading soon on YouTube. Just like a documentary style, and I just literally used my iPhone 7 all day for a couple of days when I was out and about in the German forests and amongst some rivers and waterfalls, and it was really, really cool. I was with Stefan Hummel, who's known as the planter hunter from Denelay. He goes out all over the world exploring for new aquarium plants. And Volker Jochum, who's a really good German aquascaper. He's Denelay's full-time aquascaper. And you might have heard of Chris Lukaup, who's known as the Cruster Hunter, and he basically goes all around the world with Stefan a lot of the time searching for different crustaceans, so shrimp, crabs, you name it. Chris is into it. So really, really cool few days, and I used my iPhone 7 to grab some video footage, and it was amazing because it built really good quality HD video, but it also has really good software, built-in firmware if you like, for the image stabilization. And you can just do really nice smooth panning shots, and I was really, really impressed, and I showed the Denelay management and they were super impressed. So yeah, it's my best sort of tool at the moment is the iPhone 7, and that's what I'm using to stream right now. I'm not affiliated with Apple, by the way. I'm just a big fan of Apple. I've got an iMac, iPad, everything Apple, just so it's all kind of you know what it's like. Everything's not on iTunes, and Apple have got a bit of a monopoly, I guess, but that's another video. The aquarium show. What light I need, for example, 16 gallon. How many watts per gallon LED light? it's really hard to give a recommendation for watts per gallon with LEDs. One LED isn't the same as another LED. Some of them very much more efficient than others. But as a rough guide, I would say LEDs are about twice as efficient as T5 lighting with reflectors. So I would say 16 gallons, we're looking at, what's that in litres? 30 centimetres tall, 4 times 16, 64 litres. You probably want, if you wanted a high energy setup, you probably want about 24 watts of LED. For a medium, sort of low to moderate setup, I'll go for about 12 watts. So about between 10 and 30 watts really, depending on the type of scape you want, the type of plants you want to grow. If you're injecting CO2, you're happy to dose plenty of nutrients. You can add a lot more light. If you want to go low energy, you want to grow kind of less demanding plants, go for something low maintenance. I'll go towards the lower end of that bracket, so about 10 watts of LED lighting. Michaela, my frog bit is dying. All of the plants are thriving. Other plants are Marsilea crenata, Rotala wallachii, and Christmas moss. Any ideas? There's no conenda, I'm not sure that word is, water on top, so that's not it. Frog bit. I wonder what the temperature is. Is it a closed hood? So the light will be close to the surface, I'm guessing, which can really make the plants too hot. That could be a reason. If it's open top and it's still dying, then it might be a nutrient problem. Floating plants tend to show nutrient deficiencies before any others because they're so fast growing. So look at the temperature if it's in an enclosed system with a hood, and if it's not that, then look at your nutrients. Bernardo, how is the Kessel handling the red plants? Not very good. I've got to say, I'm a bit disappointed. The Ludwigia arcuata is very much a green colour, as you can see. You probably can't see any red in there whatsoever, so that is a bit disappointing. I'll be having a little chat with Kessel maybe about that. Frank, that aquarium is truly stunning. Thank you very much, Frank, that's lovely of you to say. Gav May, wildlife pond with plants down the line. I'd love a pond, but unfortunately my garden isn't really big enough, and my fiance I live with 2 boys, 2 stepsons effectively, and they like to play football in the garden, so absolutely no chance of a pond.
Yeah, there is no chance, George.
There you go, Toby. Do you want to come and say hello, Toby, or are you not? No, Toby's a bit poorly, so he's not going to show his face today. Is Harrison home?
No, not yet.
Okay. Arash, how effective are the cheap chamber type CO2 systems where you fill up the CO2 chamber every morning and let it dissolve in the tank? Good for a tank less than 80 litres. Do you know what? I was very dubious about the can. I know, so basically it's a CO2 aerosol can, and you have an upturned, inverted, basically a vessel, which you press the aerosol down, and the vessel empties all the water out and it fills up with CO2 gas, and you can see that happen. And as the CO2 gas dissolves in the water, you'll see the gas in the vessel slowly be replaced by water. So you can keep an eye on how much CO2 you're using. And do you know what? I saw a tank years ago now in a shop, and it used this system, and it was an amazing aquascape with really healthy plants. It was only a small tank, about 40 litres. But yeah, it is probably better than not using any CO2 at all. It won't be as good as a pressurised system. You have to be there every day, and the thing is with CO2, the plants kind of get used to a certain level, and if for whatever reason that level fluctuates throughout the photo period, then it tends to trigger algae. That's what anecdotal evidence suggests. So plants like a stable CO2 level while the lights are on, and you have to be there every day to press the aerosol to get that CO2 in the tank. So if you're there at home every day and you're happy to do that, then yeah, an aerosol system would be fine for a small aquarium. 80 litre aquarium, you might be pushing it a bit. You might want to use two systems. One of the first, a little story for you, one of the first decent aquascapes I ever did when I started injecting CO2 was 125 litres. It was a Joule Rio 125. The people in the UK and Europe will have heard of Joule, maybe even America. a very famous German aquarium manufacturer. And the Joule Rio 125 is a really nice all-in-one system. It has T5 lighting built in now. It has an internal filter, which is really good, like big sort of media capacity. And very good quality build and etc. And I planted it and I looked into the CO2 and I couldn't afford a pressurised CO2 kit at the time. So I actually used, you might have heard of them, I don't know if they do them anymore, Nutrifin Natural Plant CO2 system. So it's a yeast-based system. And it's basically a container, small container, which you put sugar, yeast and bicarbonate of soda in there, some tepid water, seal it up, and you have an airline or CO2 tube running to a ladder diffuser. And I used 2 of those on my 125 litre tank, and I alternated changing the mixtures every week. And I used to probably get, I think, about 7 to 10 days decent, consistent level of CO2 from each system. And I deliberately alternated the mixtures, so I got a fairly stable level of CO2. And I managed to grow like Glossostigma, some quite demanding plants. And that's really kind of my background in CO2 was this sort of DIY system. The Nutrifin system, it comes with these sachets that you can buy, but you can also do it yourself with yeast and bicarbonate of soda, and obviously sugar you can buy pretty much anywhere. But yeah, look into that. It's actually my first ever article in PFK was about yeast-based CO2 system. So yeah, I'm going off on one a bit. Hey Yuri's, how you doing, buddy? Sorry I couldn't see you in Germany the other day, just so busy. Michaela, it's 25C and it's topless. I fertilise with macro and micronutrients and CO2, so it's not that either. Well, that's a real mystery then, because Amazon frog bit I find really simple. So try dosing more fertilizers, I would say. Is it just what when you say it's dying? What are the symptoms? Is it losing colour, going brown, melting? If you give me some symptoms, I might be able to help out a bit further. Ben, I have some problems with Anubias. By low light, they get algae. By normal light, they turn really light green. I fertilise daily, Profito, use CO2. And have a hanging Aqualantis Easy LED. Probably nutrient deficiency. If it's going with normal light, it turns light green. It sounds like it's nutrients. You're dosing Profito, Easy Life Profito, which is micronutrients only. So I wonder if you're getting enough macronutrients. So nitrates, phosphates, potassium, magnesium, calcium. Yeah, look into your macronutrient dosing. George Liston, best online shop for plants, as in quality. George, are you UK based, Europe? Where do you live? And I'll suggest some places. Arash says, hi Yuri's, love your videos on ADA soils. Yes, Yuri's is a legend. I love Yuri's, one of my favourite guys in the hobby. Very much like myself, very, very good at promoting the hobby, via social media. So yeah, I've got a lot of time for Yuri's. Miak 1980, George, what is your experience with dry start methods? I've done 2, and both good experiences. And there's lots of stuff online. It's subject for another video, but basically, yeah, if you want to give the plants a good start, if they're already in their emerged form when you buy the plants, i.e. they've not adapted to their underwater state, and they're not fully aquatic plants, so you can't do dry start with things like Vallisneria, Cabomba, some ranunculus, and some other plants that can't be grown in the air. They need to be underwater, so do bear that in mind. But yeah, just look up dry start method online and you'll see loads of good stuff on that. Michaela, yes, it goes brown and soggy. Oh dear, that's a shame. I wonder if it's a bad batch of plants. You could try another floating plant. Salvinia natans is a really easy one to go, even duckweed, but it tends to take over quite quickly. Oh George, you're UK based, so my favourite online plant retailer is Aquarium Gardens. He's actually my local shop. He's only 2 miles away from my house. But he grows all his plants hydroponically. So he gets them from the nursery, he plants them, he has hydroponic systems in his shop. And so when you buy a plant from him, you're guaranteed for it to be good quality. It's actually growing in his shop rather than just kind of slowly dying like most shops with full sort of water systems. But yeah, the plants are amazing. He stocks a massive range. He stocks Dandelion Tropica, Aquadip, Aquaflora, Hortilab. He does a whole range of tissue culture, potted, plants attached to decor, fully submerged plants. But yeah, you can't go wrong with Aquarium Gardens. So that's aquariumgardens.co.uk. When did you start your fish keeping hobby? Age and how? The aquarium show. When did you start your fish keeping hobby? Well, it's quite a late starter actually. I lived with my ex-wife, and she was quite interested in getting an aquarium. That was 2002, 2003. I got really quickly obsessed with aquascaping, and by 2005, I think I was moderating about 5 tank forums, and then formed the UK Aquatic Plant Society in 2007. Started writing for Practical Fish Keeping in 2006, and now it's my profession. So yeah. Arash, a legend much like myself. It's good to know that you're a legend, George. Did I say that? Did I say I was a legend? I said Yuri's was a legend, but yeah, he's much like myself in terms of promoting the hobby. Yeah, it's a fair point. So a guy called best online plant store in the Netherlands. I don't really know. I'm not familiar with the Netherlands in terms of their online plant sellers. I do know a few nurseries that grow the plants in the Netherlands, but I couldn't give any recommendations, I'm afraid. George says UK. I have used Tropica and the Water Zoo. I love the Water Zoo. They're quite local to me, Peterborough. They have good quality plants. But if you wanted to go online, definitely look at Aquarium Gardens. And George, if you live near the Water Zoo, if you're near Peterborough, then do visit Aquarium Gardens. They've got their own shop. It's in Huntingdon, so just look it up on the internet. Sarah Allen, it's 3 in the morning where I'm at. Wow, I was up at 3 this morning watching horror films because I couldn't sleep. It's Steph Co. George, greetings from Germany. Guten Tag, is it? Oh, Guten Morgen. Love Germany, one of my favourite countries. Okay, just blocked a couple of spammers. Allotment gardener. I'm a marine keeper who wants to try a planted tank. What lighting do you recommend? I've got T5s, halides and LEDs which I could use. Before you focus too much on the lighting, I would look at the other parts to the tank. Lighting is obviously very, very important, and the amount of light drives the plant growth. So the more light you have, the more the plant wants to grow, and that plant's demand needs to be met by good CO2 levels, good nutrient levels, good circulation, good substrate. So, if I were you as a beginner in the planted tank hobby, I would go for sort of moderate lighting levels. Learn about CO2 injection if you want to grow really, really healthy plants quite quickly, and more demanding plants. You can grow pretty much any aquarium plant with moderate lighting if you have good levels of CO2. So really look into CO2 levels, circulation levels. So being a reef keeper, you know all about circulation. Good substrate will help massively. It's almost like a safety buffer. If you forget to dose liquid fertilizers, if you have a good substrate, it will take some of the hit. It will feed the plants hopefully well enough without any liquid fertilizers if you happen to miss a bit. So the question was T5 halides, and I'll go for LEDs just because they're cheaper to run cooler, have a longer lifespan, don't deteriorate over time, potentially if you have a good quality LED. So I'd take the LED route if I were you. Arash, can I grow Pogostum and Halfari with a aerosol CO2 system? Yes, there's a simple answer to that. Michaela, it's 2 different batches of plants. everyone told me frog bit is nearly impossible to kill. Apparently not for me. I feel like a plant serial killer. Yeah, it's a tricky one. That if you're growing the other plants really well, then it's really odd that's growing. I'd get rid of it all and I'd just go for something different, like Salvia natans is a really good one. I love that. I find it more attractive as well. It's smaller leaves, the roots are less intrusive, so they don't dangle down as much as the frog bit. Yeah. All right, just we'll talk about it later. I'm just on the live stream at the moment. What is in the aquarium? Says free pie. Basically, if you took this plant, so Marcranthum monticarlo, Eleocharis acicularis, Anubius persilla, some Visophalandra brownie, Hydrocotyle tripartia, Hemianthus glomerulatus, Hygrophila polysperma, Ludwigia arcuata, and some Starigine. I'm not sure what species. It's not repens. It's a different species of Starigine. Tahar, hi, how are you doing? Josh, can $7 silver fit into a 65 gal? Yes, if that's all you're keeping in there, but they do grow very big and they do like to eat plants, so do bear that in mind. They might need to rehome them after a while. If you buy them small, grow them on in the 65 gal and they get too big, and obviously you need to rehome them. Bailey Swift, I've got angelfish eggs and I put them in a different tank because the mother kept eating them. It's been a week and there are still eggs. Has something happened? Really sorry, I am not an expert on breeding fish, so I can't really answer that question with any authority, I'm afraid. Yes, Guten Morgen, it's right, Dankeschön. How do I find it's Stefco? How do you find Denelay? How do I find Denelay in terms of the quality of the plants and products? Very good. Yeah, big fan of Denelay. Matt Jackson, talk about it now, Dad. I think you're a spammer, so I'm going to block you. Hi from India, says Navi. Hello from India. Hello, India. Jason B. Oh, George, dishes need done. Arash. Sorry, this is off topic, but which city in Germany is your favourite? Oh, that's a really tricky one. I haven't been to a lot, to be honest. I was in Darn, which is southwest Germany, last week, and that's beautiful. It's not a very urban city, but it's very beautiful in terms of landscape, and yeah, I do love. It's very kind of rural, very good for walking and mountain biking, and just beautiful landscape photography, things like that. Very inspiring for aquascaping. So yeah, I would say at the moment it's Darn, D-A-H-N. Stephen Cadwallader, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, Stephen, apologies. What type of light are you using? This is a Kessel A360WE Tunis Sun. So with a spectral controller, control the intensity, control the spectrum, ramps up and down, you control the photo period. Really good light, quite expensive though, but it's a dense matrix LED. It's actually got maximum power of 90 watts, so much more than I need for this tank, 100%. So I only run it at 25% at the moment. The aquarium show, what do you think about Fluval stratum? I've heard it breaks down and you need to replace it. Yes, all soils will break down. Fluval stratum is very similar to a lot of other soils out there on the market, and after about 6 months or so, in fact, you can see some of the, well, you probably can't see it in the video, but I can see from here the top layer starting to break down into like a mud. That's fine, as long as you haven't got, you know, lots of fish that are disturbing the soil. As long as you're not uprooting the plants regularly, then it doesn't matter if it breaks down, it still serves its purpose. Allotment Gardener, is there a particular LED that you recommend? I'm using E-Tech Radions on my reef, but just realised the spectrum won't be suitable. It looks like you're using Kessels on that tank. Yes, using Kessels, just talked about that. Ecotech do the Radions, they do a freshwater version. They're on the 4th generation, I think, which are really, really good. I like Kessels, I like the glitter lines that they produce. You can probably see the attractive glitter lines there being cast on the stones. But they are expensive. But if you're a reef keeper, you know all about spending money, I'm guessing. Depends on the size of the tank as well. You can get some really cool LEDs that actually just fit. They've got their own. If it's an open top tank, they've got their own legs that support on the edges of the tank, which are really cool. The Twin Star do some, which are nice. Thomas Becker Visual Art. Hi, Michaela. I feel so horrible for them. The plants are so pretty, and I killed them. They're plants. Don't worry. Don't feel guilty about killing plants. They don't have any feelings. Excuse me. Just getting over a cold. Dabisti. Is there a way to use multiple small rocks to look like a big rock when creating the hardscape? Yes, definitely. Just play around. Do it when the tank's dry. Get some sand or soil or whatever substrate you want. Get all your rocks and just have a really good play around. You know, you might even be able to glue them together. You can rest them on top of each other and just try to create that illusion of one big rock. I've done it before with a big, massive Malawi cichlid tank aquascape that I did for a guy called Scott Lynch, who's a Malawi cichlid supplier in the UK. I did a big 6-foot tank for him, used about 300 kilos of mini landscape rock, and yeah, created the illusion of a couple of really big kind of mounds which look like massive rocks. If you're familiar with the Dunlay Scapers tanks, both the 30... Oh sorry, I've missed a lot of questions here. Do you like nature? I absolutely love nature. That's one of the reasons I'm in the hobby. Lukasz, greetings from Poland. Hello. Toby?
Yeah?
You sure Harrison's not home? I can hear the... Can you go and check for me?
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Sorry, guys. Hi from Malaysia. Hi from Poland. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining. A lot of time my fish dies. I'm sorry to hear that, Jeddah. Probably a water quality issue. Louise, I've got 3 tanks myself. 1 high tech, 2 low tech tanks. Love the hobby. Yes, I love the hobby too, Louise. Thank you for joining. Vutzel HD, how are you? I'm very well, thank you for asking.
George.
Yeah?
It's here.
What's that?
Harrison's here.
Okay, cool, thanks mate. Willie Connors, do you have any fish in your tank? No fish in this tank. I've rehomed them because I didn't seem very happy in here. I'll probably get some suitable fish for the final photo shoot soon. Maybe cardinal tetras, some sort of tetra, maybe rasbora, maybe even white cloud mountain minnows. I do love them. Michaela, are you familiar with Dunlay Scapers tanks? Yes. Do you think the lights in both are strong enough to grow high light requiring plants? They do 2 different light models now. So there's the old style, they do 3. They do the fluorescent. I'm not sure if you're referring to the Power Compact T5 fluorescent, which is enough to grow plants. They do a low power LED, which probably isn't enough for highlight plants. And now they do a new tropical LED, which is enough for highlight plants. So it depends on which system you buy now. Beautiful tank, just the sheepskin on the work. Yes, Lukasz. Just the surface scum is a bit annoying, isn't it? Yeah. See if I can. What I can do is raise the outlet up like that, and that should help clear the surface scum a bit. Makes an annoying noise though, so let me know if that noise is too annoying for you. Michaela, because I've been told multiple people they aren't strong good enough. Michaela, that's a really interesting point. People focus too much on light, I would say. It's more important to focus on CO2, circulation, good maintenance practices, healthy plants, and you can be surprised at how many species of plants you can grow if you get everything else sorted. People just assume because it's a planted tank, light is the most important thing. It is, but it's really common to actually go for too much light and not address the other issues. Can't say enough. CO2, circulation, liquid fertilizer is really important as well. Good soil. Get all that sorted, and you can grow plants with quite low lighting. Arash, thank you so much for answering all my questions. Keep up the good work, educating and promoting the hobby. We need more people like you. I'm not leaving the stream, don't worry. Thank you, Arash. That's lovely of you to say. I do love these live streams for sort of engaging with the audience. A lot of the stuff I do is on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube obviously. but to have a direct kind of feedback with you all is really cool, and appreciate the interaction. So thank you, Monton, Stefco, George. You have a really cool international community. Thank you very much. Yes, do love the fact that aquascaping is a worldwide, global hobby, and with the technology and the internet, it's really much easier to reach out to a global audience, and it's fantastic. And the social media boom has really helped, I think, aquascaping, and there's so many great aquascapers out there now, and things like YouTube, Facebook, etc. make it really easy to share and promote our hobby to the masses, which I think is amazing. Lukash, what basis do you rely on filtration? Filtration wise, I'll go for it's more important for me to use filtration as circulation. The plants do most of the biological filtration. Sometimes I use carbon just to give that water a polished look, or maybe some like Scum Purigen. I'm not too fussed on the biological media what I use, because I know the plants will deal with any waste pretty much. Mechanical filtration is obviously important to keep the water looking clean as well. We don't like cloudy water or bits of debris floating around. So I hope that answers your question. Scott, I want to set up a low-tech planter tank at work. Will it be okay with lights off 2 days a week? Tricky. I'm not sure. Worth a try. What I would suggest is get a plug-in timer, and then you'll have set it for 8 hours a day, and then away you go. Sorry, Dust Gamer. No idea what you said. I can't read Spanish, I'm afraid. Shout out to my Spanish friends if there are any out there. I'm actually in Madrid next weekend doing a workshop, so that's cool. Hopefully you'll be able to live stream it. Dave, Joe Rigby, how do you get the wavy reflection look at the bottom of your tank? That's just the lighting, so it's a LED point source light, so it gets refracted off the surface movement, and then it casts the shadows, the ripples on the bottom. Adam Guy, what fish will you put in them? I'll probably put some sort of big shoal of small tetras or rasboras or white cloud mountain minnow. David Ponton, hi George. With aquascaping, is it best to work small and work up in size? If I start too big, I worry that I won't get the scapes right. That's a really good point, David. I would definitely recommend going small and working your way up. A quick plug, Evolution Aquascaper 300 cube. Perfect little nano tank if you want to get started. Doesn't cost much to set up, easy to maintain. The tank on its own only costs £59 if you're from UK. Tank and cabinet 149, and then you can fit your own lighting on there, your own filtration. You can have a small internal filter, a low power LED, and away you go. Really simple way to get started in the hobby. Jason B, smash that like button, people. Thanks, Jason. That's awesome. Bartek, hi. Arash, I will follow you on Instagram. Yeah, please follow me on Instagram. My username is @theaquascaper, all one word. So @theaquascaper. Really impressed with Instagram. Got nearly 13,000 followers already. So I try to put at least one photo on there a day. 90%, 95% aquarium related or nature inspiration related. 365 Aqualife. Hi there from Malta. Hello, nice to see you. Angel, fantastic Aquario, George. Thank you very much. Bartek, I subscribed to you. Thank you very much, Bartek. I really appreciate that. Yeah, if you don't subscribe to my channel already, guys, please do so. I'm nearly at the 8,000 mark. A bit of a slow sort of progression. But yeah, it's just all about getting the hobby out there for me. And the more subscribers I have, the more kind of motivation I have to keep producing content for you all. So if you do hit that subscribe button, it's a really good thing for me, and hopefully you get benefits as well, obviously. Hi from South Korea. Come to South Korea. If you invite me to South Korea and you pay my airfare, then I'll come to South Korea. Love to visit the Far East. Josh Booth, where's the best place you found in the UK for large and cool driftwood? Another shout out to Aquarium Gardens. He has a huge selection of hardscape. It's an online shop as well, so just go on aquariumgardens.co.uk and you can see that, mate. Have you ever travelled to Korea? No, never been to Korea. Tony Hellcat, nice wallpaper. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. Okay guys, I'm going to sign off in a minute. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel please. It's really, really great if you do. It's just really appreciate it. It's just a little indication that what I'm doing is appreciated, and it gives me added motivation to hopefully produce good content for you guys. It's all, for me, the hobby is all about inspiring and educating a new generation, ideally, of aquascapers and current aquascapers as well. It's a beautiful hobby. I absolutely love it. I'm passionate about it. Hopefully that comes across in my videos. And I think if everyone in the world had an aquascape, the world would be a much better place. So keep on scaping guys. Take care. God bless. Cheerio.